Welcome to Heart in the Paint. My name is Aaron Showtime Taylor. Today is one of those special days in a person's career that you get to look back and reflect, in basketball particularly, on your life and how it crosses paths with the life that we're talking about today. Back in the 80s, we used to play Pepsi 3-on-3 out at Venice Beach. Later on, after I went to prison, a young man by the name of Nick came over and looked at the same court that I looked at in the 80s and created the Venice Basketball League about 17 years ago. When I first came home from prison, the Venice Basketball League was the first place I had a job at, 30 days out. And since that day, everything I've done has been pole vaulted from the Venice Basketball League. So today, I brought some of the Venice Basketball League players in so they can introduce themselves to us, to you. We get to know about my family out at Venice Beach. And at that point, I'll let the doctor start the introductions and we'll go around the table. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them what team you play for as well and what your occupation is off the court.
All right, what's up? My name is Dr. Shireen. I'm at Dr. Shireen on Instagram. I play for Project Backboard. I've been playing in the VBL since 2020 and basically shooter.
Shooter? Oh, no, it's crazy. I'm Grizzly Moons. I play for Team Future Move, best team in the VBL. You can follow me at Grizzly Moons on Instagram. I'm a model, musician, actor, basketball player, inspiration. I'm one of the greats, man.
I guess I'm a doctor too. Sports chiropractor, human performance specialist, singer, model, all that.
Chico.
Full disclosure, they have collaborations coming out earlier. I mean, in a sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe sooner than later, but they have a collabo coming out. So let's go around the horn and finish this one.
Wait, but I'm one half of the group Vibration, all right?
Okay, all right, we got that one in too. Juice, talk to us.
What's the deal? It's Juice the Athlete, man. I'm actually a full-time student now. I'm doing studying a major in communication studies, and I also just work my ass off doing security at nighttime, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty very basic, just trying to make it happen when I go overseas. By that time that happens, I'm gonna still be doing Venice Beach League. I'm gonna still be kicking with my boy Aaron Showtime Taylor, Moons, Dios, you know, this family right here. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, so yeah, my name is.
Whoa.
I also play for Harder Guard with my boy Dios. I'm sorry.
You play hard for. Well, no, wait a minute. We have to make sure that we're listening to this brother because you have to hear his voice. The floor is yours, brother.
Hi, my name is Dios Mac. I forgot the questions already, so I'm gonna just freestyle. I play for Harder Guard. My Instagram is @DiosMac44. My occupation is artist, creator, you feel me? I do everything that I'm inspired to do, and I follow it with my entirety.
Yes.
And I am the other half of Vibration, you feel me? So catch our performances, catch our music, Apple Music, Spotify, all that.
You heard him. Now we're going to take a minute. I want y'all to watch the tape right now. All right, welcome back. We're live right now, appreciative. Dr. Shireen, we're gonna start right here. So you started playing in 2022, so we actually met each other the first time at Dotweiler. Okay, since then, let's back up. Before you actually started playing in the VBL, what has your basketball career been like growing up?
So started playing with boys, never played with girls until high school, and went to college, JUCO, College of the Canyons. Never played with girls again for 23 years.
Wow.
Then the pandemic hit, and the boys were not inviting me to their open secret runs. So I started playing with girls again to like get back in shape and everything because I hadn't played for a while. And that's how I started playing with girls again and getting like into the group. Started with X versus X and Meta. And then
that would be the basketball that we have on here today right
Yep,
now.
yep.
Shout out my dog.
Shout out to Meta. Shout out to Meta, definitely.
And I actually met Buddha. Buddha was the first person that I met.
That would be
prior to that.
Larry Buddha Boyd.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Larry Buddha Boyd.
Okay.
Met him in the Loot League when I was playing in men's 35 and over league. and we were playing on the same team together before the pandemic. And then through X versus X, I saw him again, and then he introduced me to Venice League.
Okay. And Grizz, what about you? Before you started playing in the Venice Basketball League, what's your career been like from a childhood growing all the way up to I see you at Venice Beach, or excuse me, at Dotweiler Beach for the first time in 2020.
Organized hoop. I ain't really started playing organized hoop like a freshman in high school, man. I used to play like a little, like, you know how your mother put you in the little rec leagues?
Yeah, to keep you out of trouble.
I would play like one game and then like not play no more, man. Like, I think I was just too fast at that point. Freshman year, didn't even make a team, because with the school I went to, I was going to school in Virginia. Shout out to my man. I ain't going to drop your name, but you know exactly who you are. But they only ever had one freshman ever make the team, man. So I started off as a defensive player, then moved again, became more of a scorer, you know, more of a point guard. And then like I moved out here like 2016. And like I tell everybody, I was watching Venice. Like I used to be on the side court hooping. That's how like everybody out there like is family, because I was on the side court hooping. And I was just watching Nico and them and all these players, Montrez, Meta, and all them come through the VBL. And then one year I was like, I'm just gonna play. And I was already cool with Nico. Nico was like, you don't have to try out. I was like, nah, I'm gonna try out, bro. Like I'm gonna go through the process like everybody else.
Right.
I got picked 5th, ended up leading all the rookies in points that year. You know what I'm saying? Like I was playing for Bristol Studios at the time. I feel like I always end up playing for like a clothing brand or some brand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Well, wait, hold on before you go any further, right? Let me make sure I give a shout out, because the team that he plays for, Future Move, which are the glasses that he's wearing right now, I have a couple of pair of them myself, was put together by a gentleman by the name of Austin Saldner.
Shout out my boy.
Austin Saldner came inside of San Quentin to play basketball against the San Quentin Warriors, and I met him in 2015 and 16, and he helped set it up for this to become my family. So shouts out to Austin Saldner and Future Mood on that.
Wow.
But yeah, and so like ever since then, man, it's all love, man. Like I give guys the opportunity to play out there, man. I show up. I was running the GM role of the last draft, because I kind of have a name out there now. So it's more like everything is just family oriented to me, because one, I'm not from here. So the fact that I can cling to basketball, and basketball opens up all these avenues for me, like it's just amazing, bro. I can't thank God or anybody enough, you know what I mean?
Right, I feel you. Let's move on over here to Juice, because see, I met Juice at Dotweiler like I met everybody else. Him and Biggie Gets Buckets showed up bright and early that day, and I met them on the sideline. So before I met you on the sideline, what's your basketball career been like?
Man, I actually started playing basketball at a young age, but I would never play organized basketball for an actual team. My pops just always used to tell me, like, hey, make sure you know how to dribble with your left hand since you're right-handed. You know, you're going to be tall. You don't want you to be one of them tall dudes that just only dunk for a living. So I was like, all right, Pops. But what's crazy, he used to be a custodian at Washington Middle School. That's where I started, and that's in Long Beach. And every day after school, he'd be like, hey, go on the court. I'm going to open the gym. Go dribble with your left hand. Do it for an hour. Matter of fact, go shoot around. Shoot behind the three-point line. We don't want you. We already know you can take it in. We already know you can damn near touch the rim. Do something different. So by the time,
your game out.
Yeah. Okay. So by the time I got to like what 8th grade, I had to try it at Narbonne High School, and I was the only one in 8th grade that made varsity on Narbonne. Wow. So that was what skyrocketed from there. Ever since I knew I can just be something great at basketball, I was like, you know what? It's turned into a passion. I just started loving it to the point where I wake up at 5 in the morning, dribbling the basketball, take a shower, then go to school. Right. You know what I mean? Like it became a lifestyle.
I like that, because last night I usually do a lot of work in the middle of the night, and one of the memes that I saw last night was one by Kobe Bryant, who said he didn't like lazy people, right? He couldn't relate to lazy people, you know. He couldn't understand them, and he didn't want to understand a lazy person, right? And it's just, that is like a testament to what you're talking about now, about getting up, doing those drills and those dribbles, and taking those shots when nobody else is around to get you prepared for the big moments.
Yeah, and it was funny. I used to get in trouble a lot because my mom used to say, "Oh, curfew 6 o'clock." I used to never come home at curfew just because I'm always at practice or somewhere else playing basketball. And she was like, "What are you doing? You gonna mess with a girl?" I'm playing basketball, Mom. I know that type of time right now.
I understand the dedication.
So by the time I got to a senior year, she was more supportive. She was more on me about basketball. She was like, if you really want to do this is your passion, you better put your whole heart and soul into it, then make it happen. So ever since then, I've just been a hooper.
And that's when I meet you on the sideline at Dotweiler, and we can move on forward, you know, to the voice, the man himself. Dios, talk to us. Before you hit Venice, the VBL, what is your basketball or your sports career like in general?
When I was I'll say I started in elementary school. Like elementary school, I was that kid that I'd make up games because I thought I was just, feel me, I was athletic, and I noticed that early. So I made up dodgeball, kickball, like games and all that, and I never really understood any sport other than that. Space Jam comes out, and that kind of, my first crush was Lola Bunny, you feel me? So, and I'd never cap about that. It was a cartoon first, you feel me? So I fell for her, and then like basketball started getting more prevalent because I had this one kid, I'm gonna shout him out, but I don't care, his name was Noah, and he used to literally bust my behind every recess. And he was a little like white kid, very rich, very well off, and he would bust my ass and talk like all his nonsense. Every time, every lunch period, you feel me? And that motivated me to get a little better because I didn't want anybody to have, something over me. It grew to more of a passion when I started playing for the junior Knicks and stuff like that in New York. And my pops gave me an opportunity to like stay out of trouble, and like the whole summer I got to be developed by a lot of pro players and stuff like that. I went to middle school. I got to become the captain of the team pretty early in middle school, and that was my first experience like utilizing my voice for something positive, which is like just leading other people and making people take positive steps to become better. In middle school, I wasn't that good. You feel me? I was more of a I dunk now, but all I could do was clap. And in New York, like clapping backboard when you make a layup is serious. You feel me? Like I used to have highlights of like alley-oop clap-ons. You feel me? So,
yeah, hella disrespectful.
Yeah, like people really liked my game for that. So like I was lucky to like go through the ranks in middle school. I played for Booker T. Washington, and like that was one of the top middle schools in New York. And from there, I went to Manhattan Center for Science and Mathematics, which is MCSM is like one of like the best schools in Harlem. We play in the AA division in PSAL and play against real big names. Cameron went to my school, Mace went to my school.
At 139th and Lenox area?
It's on 116th at first.
116th first, all
yeah,
right.
Yeah, so I played at Manhattan Center. I got to be the captain of that team. I made the varsity my sophomore year. And I played well there. You feel me? I had like a few looks and a few scholarship offers when I first got to my junior year and stuff like that. And based on decisions with my family, like my family decided to keep me in the city. So I played for Lehman College in the Bronx. I got to be captain of that team as well. I played well there. And that was when like the dunking started to develop and I started becoming more of a dunker and stuff like that. So that was like one of my most fun experiences with basketball. And from there, I got to play in Dykeman, Rucker, all the famous street ball leagues in New York and stuff like that. And yeah.
You bring all that experience with you to the VBL.
Yeah, it's funny because like I got out here and like I got injured when I first got out here. So I wasn't able to walk for like the first 2 years that I was like really out here. The pandemic was difficult for me because basketball was really separate, you feel me? But I was blessed, you feel me? Like I believed in myself enough to pay for like a G League tryout. I tried out for the G League with a bum ankle. Went to Atlanta, tried out for some overseas teams down there, and I was pretty successful. I did well for somebody with a bum ankle, but now that I'm like healthy again, my mind is focused back on just getting myself on the proper stage and playing in the right places. And I'm just grateful for the VBL. I'm grateful for Grizz for bringing me out there initially and stuff like that because you feel me, like with all my other careers and all the things that I love to do other than basketball, sometimes basketball slowly drifts away, Right. So I'm grateful for it to still be in my life and, have a family that's starting to build off of just the same love of the game, you feel me? So
I'm glad you worded it that way because that leads me into my next question, but I'm gonna modify it a bit because I want to know what the VBL has done for you since you've been a part of the VBL. But we're talking about not just basketball, but we're also talking about positive community involvement, positive community development. We're talking about mentorship and everything else that comes along with being in the VBL. So how do you navigate that? And also, you're a parent as well. Do you see some of the things that you've learned in the VBL as far as teamwork and everything? Do you see that helping you develop outside of the game as well, like as far as being a doctor, say if you have to work with other people and stuff like that? Do you see some of the same elements that are applicable?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that having those types of people that are in the VBL, like everybody has like this drive and seems to be multi-talented as well. And like Grizz was saying earlier when we were talking, like it's kind of like a family. The environment of VBL is so, it's such a family. So, you know, like with the kids or with other practitioners or whatever, like building that family kind of environment is crucial, because everybody needs to know that we have each other's back, because nobody's going to be at 100% of the time. So everybody has to have each other's back, lift each other up, tell each other when we need to like step it up or do this or do that or whatever. But I think everybody has a great attitude of just like, let's keep it moving, let's keep it going, and let's try our best and let's do our best.
How do you take that teamwork and that drive that the doctor spoke about as far as the league goes, right? So let's make sure I say this correctly. Yeah. There's the league goals, and then there's the individual team goals within the league. So those goals are to win a championship in the VBL, right? But where do you fit in personally in the macro goal of the VBL when it comes to reaching out for community work and community development and mentorship?
I go a little bit into my background a little bit. Growing up out in DC, man, me and my mother my mother is my inspiration to do a lot, man. Like, cause I'm not gonna say my father really wasn't there, but I was raised by women. You know what I'm saying? So like, even with my mother, like we used to be living in homeless shelters, living in a car, bro, and my mother would still find a way to make soup and feed the homeless in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like even when I came out here, it was like, I'm the type of guy, like, I don't take a lot of stuff, like, too serious, like, when it comes to, like, people talking or people doing, because it's like, you never know what somebody going through, you know what I'm saying? So out there, like, my whole thing is I even drove for the hoop bus, you know what I'm saying? I was in the NBA commercials, and that opened my eyes to a lot, because it's like when you going through these different neighborhoods, these different cities and different states you've never been, it's like, you start to have a different perspective on everything out there, like, and now I see why these people are like this, and I see why people don't come to this side. But it's like, I'm the type of guy that's multi-talented. I can talk to anybody. I can be in any way. I can talk to a millionaire. I can talk to somebody on the street. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that, like, this hasn't always been your goal. This hasn't always been like what you wanted to do. This hasn't always been like things have come for you to end up in this situation. But I'm so understanding to it that it's like a lot of people understand. Even people that work with the VBL and stuff like that, they can't go and speak to all these different people in these different walks of life. And that's why I'm able to shine and do that, because it's like, I understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through some stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mother might watch this, so I can't cuss too much. But I've been
I like the fact that he said he gonna respect his mom.
I've been through a lot of stuff, and it's crazy, because, like, when people meet me, they don't even, like, as soon as I start telling the story and start talking about my life, they like, what? I'm like, yeah, like, but they
but now let's develop that for a minute, because one of the reasons, and we spoke about that upstairs in the sitting area, when I was saying that I want people to get to know the player, but I want people to get to know the person behind the player. Because Grizzly Moon, as a basketball player, Dr. and Juice and Dios, they're basketball players. There's a personality and a facet that goes on the court with that. You know what I'm saying? There's a persona that's moving with that, but then there's the person behind that, right? So if you can do it in maybe 3 sentences, in less than a minute, give us one of those stories where the impact is the greatest, that helps you relate to somebody when you're talking to them, especially when you're using basketball as the vehicle.
All right, I'll try to put it in 3 minutes, right? Young kid.
No, 1 minute, not 3.
1 minute, got you. I got you. I'm gonna make it super short, right? Young kid, 9th grade. You know how you always got like the different tiers of school, like the guys that play sports, the guys that do this, and I'm one of the guys that play sports. I'm okay looking guy, and I'm seeing the kid being messed in the hallway.
Notice the humility and just an okay looking guy. All right, go ahead, bro.
Like I see a kid get messed with in the hallway, and I approach the situation because I can talk to anybody, and there's no different tiers in my life. Everybody is themselves. So go chat it up with him. We'll start kicking it for a little bit, and one day he just hands me a note, and I think it's still in my grandma's house. Like, but he hands me a note, and it just goes into detail. Long story short, I was planning on taking myself out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like. And he was saying, but you come to talk to me, hang out with me, and all stuff like that, like, change my mind. And so that's when I realized, like, why carry whatever I'm mad about outside in the streets? When in reality, I never knew who I'm gonna run into. You know what I'm saying? So that's me, man. I'm looking to be an inspiration. I need to be the person. That's my slogan. I'm trying to be the man I needed when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that don't care about no ego. Somebody that don't care about looking masculine. Somebody that don't care about being looked down upon, but somebody that understands that, like, there's people watching you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
constantly with the idea that I'm a role model always.
You got to be the role model for them, because you got to be the role model for the people that don't even come up and say nothing to you.
Let me ask you something, Juice. You came into the league again, 2020, right? Which player in the VBL has been a role model for you from the moment that you came in as a rookie? Now you're playing in your third season right now, right?
Oh man, that's
So-
kind of an easy one.
Okay, well, yeah, well, let's talk
My
about
boy
it.
Juice 100, man. Even since Doc Wilder, man.
Put the
like,
mic up some a little bit. So
Ever since Doc Wilder, that nigga Juice 100, man, this a different type of dude. It's from day one, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time he gets on the court, he's serious. It's all game time. Whoever's in them lines in the court, you ain't no friend. We ain't nothing. We just ready to play this ball, and I'm gonna win. He always had that mentality, and I have somewhat of that mentality. And when I seen that in him, and the fact that we won a championship that day, it just shows me how much of that is needed inside of this game. You got to be serious at all times. Even when you goofing off at 24-hour playing basketball, you got to always be serious about your game because you don't know what type of opportunity is going to come for you. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing I learned from him is be serious with your game, always making sure you practicing, always making sure you take everything to 100. So I see this in his name, Juice 100. I got respect for him.
Right, I
Much
can feel
respect.
that. Dios, okay, you on the East Coast, right? So give me a name of one or two ballers there that you watched growing up that was like a role model for you on and off the court, because I know they really got some characters on the East Coast when it comes to balling, and it's not just what they do on the court, it's what they do off the court as well.
That's
So
a
what's some
fact.
of your influences?
So I'm like, I went to preschool in Amsterdam Projects. That's in Midtown Manhattan, and we had a tournament called Positive Influence. And there was one summer where my modeling career made me go bald, right? So they called me the Silver Surfer in that league, right? But it was also a play on words because my homie, his name was Avery Jimerson. He touched the G League. He's a legend out there. And they called him the Golden Child. So it was like Golden Child, Silver Surfer. And we were two of the top leading scorers in that when I was bald. So like he's always been an inspiration because of what he has that like dog in him. He's always gonna go at it. He's gonna put 100, but he also could fly. Like he was a little shorter than me, but I used to watch him do insane things, dunk on people way bigger than him. There was one tournament we played in. I think it was the Rucker. It was Kingdom, but it was moved to an inside gym because it was raining, and Kemba pulled up, but.
Kemba Walker?
Kemba Walker pulled up. I mean,
I know you know that. No, listen, I
say his
understand. No, trust me, I understand.
Right.
I just left an ESPY Party Award. You know, I was talking to somebody and was like, oh man, you know, we was up there with Terrell, J.O. was all
Facts.
Who? Oh, Terrell Owens and Jonathan Ogden and, some other come on. Break it down for us, brother.
So
who else was there?
I mean, that it's funny because like for me, because Abe was from my area,
Right.
He was the hero. Kemba walked in and it was still like the air got sucked out the gym. Everybody knew where Kemba was going at that point, you feel me? But Abe was that because like his highlights at the end of the day, he would go to the rim and dunk on people at will.
Right.
And he's a shorter player. And that really gave me the motivation, especially when I was younger. Like, I don't think he understands how much he was important and integral to my path because the whole block would ask him the same question. How you jump like that? Like, and everybody, all the little kids, like all people my age is like, yo, this is toe raises. You do like 1,000 toe raises and all that. You run the stairs and all that. But every answer he gave, I tried. That's how serious I was. Like every answer he gave, it may have been toe raises one day. The next day he started laughing at it at one point. It was like, yeah, I'll just run and sprint fields and I run upstairs every day. And I started sprinting fields and running upstairs. And I let whatever that became for me become. You feel me? Because he really led the way to let me know that like not only can you work really hard, but you can have influence on people based on your hard work. You feel me? So
exactly.
That meant a lot to me because I love working hard. It's always been in me, but now knowing that like, okay, if I work hard and I know somebody's watching me, I do this last rep that I don't want to do, they're going to do their last rep. They're going to not give up when they think they need to give up. You feel me? So just being a role model, it really came from somebody that he may have not known that, but like I was trying to take everything he had. Every time he tried to talk a little bit and I could have a chance to sit down with him, I really sat there and tried to digest everything he said because I really looked up to him.
It's almost a responsibility in no matter what field you in to pass on information and to pass on wisdom. You know, and I when I'm on Twitter a lot and I'm in Twitter spaces where they're talking about sports, often the people that are in there are like really like so emotionally invested in the conversation that they forget that they're talking about a person. You know, and they're calling this person any other name or any name other than the one that their parents named them because they don't really understand the game. And to listen to you talk about it that way, you know, to listen to you appreciate somebody passing on that knowledge, wisdom, and that understanding and then trying to apply it, even if it didn't work for you. Maybe it developed something else, and maybe it developed another part of your game, right? And that brings me over back to the doc, right? Because, okay, we call you the doc, but you're also a licensed doctor. You're a real doc,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And she play ball. She play ball, right? So when we start talking about, because your field is you know, healing people. So when we start talking about sports injuries and whatnot, and just to give you a scenario, somebody pulls an ACL, not necessarily tears it,
Okay.
right? And then there's the maybe I might be aging myself when I say this, but Bernard King was one of the first players in the NBA who actually came back from one of those type of injuries, not once but twice, right? And obviously medicine has progressed much more advanced to the point now where a person can have that type of injury and come back in 6 weeks, right? What part do you play in that when it comes to cellular regeneration with the work that you do?
Ooh, I mean, this is more than a 3-minute little touch, but
But I trust that you can be able to give us an advice.
we'll get you a minute. We'll get you a minute.
There we go.
Okay, so it might get a little metaphysical here, but everything happens on energy. Like, you know when you like somebody, when you don't like somebody, you can feel like their energy. You already know if you should walk down this alley or you should take this street. Like, you can feel it. Everything in our body has its own frequency, has energy. So, like Grizz, for example, like from the moment I met this guy, loved him. Like, he gassed me up the whole game. I was like shooting all these different shots and like just having the best time. Like, his energy is so good. And to hear like his story about like being homeless, living in the car, basically the shelters and all that, like he could be a person that would have like a very low energy and people would be like, yeah, well, you know, he had a hard life, so that's just how he is, you know. But he doesn't choose that.
Right.
And so he's healthy. He's very, very healthy. So that changes how fast his body is going to regenerate inside. Whether, you know, and these things have been proven through science, through experiments about the mind and the inner frequency and energy being able to affect the actual physical, tangible healing of the body. So, you know, just open up, try and educate and empower people to be able to see different things that they can do themselves,
Right.
outside of what somebody else can do for them.
Dios, you nodded your head immediately. Okay, you go ahead because you nodded. Both of you guys nodded your head. But what popped up on you? Well, hold on one second. What popped up for you?
Man, it's like she said, frequency, energy do attach. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how we've been knowing each other for quite some time now. Like,
Move the mic up. There you go.
and it's just it is like how she said. I think I just agree with it because, like, let's say a person with low energy, you know what I'm saying, that is in that bad predicament or wherever they're doing with themselves, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people will visualize that, oh yeah, he's not a good person to be around just because he's in that particular situation, and they try to judge the book by its cover, not knowing who he really is, not getting to know him. And when you get to know him, you know, you can see his real light and how much energy he has. He just, like you said, it's a lifestyle, it's a choice, you know what I'm saying, like, and everything will help your body, especially if you have
Where
good
you at with that,
frequencies.
Dios?
I mean, that frequency is kind of me, if that makes that. It's very simple, but complex in itself. Like, everything about my choices since I've graduated college, you feel me, like, and like gained the book knowledge, everything from there has been spiritual or like frequency knowledge, and like healing myself, knowing about having positive thoughts to heal whatever I'm feeling or healing whatever I'm going through is 100% something I believe in. Especially like I said, like I had an injury that had me not walking, and my frequency went down the drain immediately. As soon as it started to raise, things started to come to my aid. You feel me? Things started to come to my aid that I needed. I didn't have a way to pay rent. Somebody saw me taken a photo shoot and said, you can live here if you need to. And that was just because I started allowing myself to be open, not because I did anything. You feel me? So I'm a living testament to frequency. You feel me? I'm a living testament of like making sure that you start your day with the higher vibration. I start my day every morning with gratitude and trying to thank my world for having me another day. You feel me? Because I'm grateful for everything that for breathing at the end of the day. So when you start to get to that level of gratefulness, I believe the world starts to give you everything that you're asking for. You feel me? So and beyond just, material things, health is 100% one of it. So what she's speaking of, what Dr. Shireen is talking about, is something 100%. I think the whole world should be really on this type of time, instead of us trying to feed ourselves pharmaceuticals and stuff like that literally drain us and kill us, while we could literally heal ourselves with our mind and our thoughts. So I'm here for it. I'm
gonna let Grizz go into it with this question right here, right? And that question is gonna be, where does mental health and wellness fit into this? Because to come from a particular situation that you have, and something I seen on TD Jakes the other morning, my niece called me and was like, check this out. And TD Jakes said, you can't say that you're keeping it 100 if you got a secret.
Oh, yeah.
And he said everybody in the room that was listening to him had a secret, right? And I bring that up to say, how do you, right? Because a lot of people try to hide mental illness or the fact that they may need mental, just to sit down and talk to somebody, right? How does that apply into what you're doing?
I realized, because just like everybody in their life, everybody goes through their own journey. I realized it came with confidence in myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that I can tell you, look, man, I'm not feeling it. Let me go over here to myself. And I even thank him for that, because you know what I'm saying, he just became my roommate maybe almost more than a year ago. You know what I'm saying? He helped me with meditation, a lot of yoga, and just positive talk. Because I was one of them guys that it didn't matter if I was in the gym with you or not. You thought you was better than me. It was if I missed that shot, I'm supposed to make it. I'm tight. Now I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Why'd I just lose to this guy? You don't even put in as much work as me. But then also, like I said, it comes with confidence. And this is gonna sound really crazy, so nobody judge me. I look at myself in the mirror a lot. You know what I'm saying? I do my mannerisms in the mirror. I dance in the mirror. I dress myself in the mirror, and I just look at myself a lot, because I realize when you don't think that you're the greatest you or becoming the greatest you, it starts to show. You know what I'm saying? So when I go outside every day I go to the beach, everywhere I go, everybody know me for pulling up in a fit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have a fit on some old kicks that might be falling apart, but you won't have them. You know what I'm saying? These from 06. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, but it's I'm doing that for me. I'm never doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me, because I realize every day that I wake up, it's a blessing. The same thing he said. We wake up and we thank the universe and thank God every day, because I could be in a different situation. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins and family members at different situations. You know what I'm saying? So every day I wake up, I'm at peace and I'm at one with my mental health, because I have to be comfortable with that. I have to be comfortable with my flaws. I have to be comfortable with what I'm great at, because if not, I'm projecting that on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? If I come outside and today I feel like I don't look my best, now you're gonna come tell me something and I'm gonna get tight and I'll project my attitude on you, and you might take that home to your family. You know what I'm saying? Now that's affecting how they grow up. You know what I'm saying? So I never want to be the type of person to do that, because I understand on a deeper level now. You know what I'm saying? Younger, I was doing wild stuff. I got this cut on my arm from punching the window from being mad. I used to just be angry for no reason. And I had an okay life. Yeah, we was homeless, but I still had fun. I had an okay life, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I punched the window because I was mad. I had to stay home and watch my little sister. That's stupid. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So every day I look at myself in the mirror, I look at this scar on my arm, and I realize I could be in a whole different situation or not here at all. So it's my job to impact everybody's life that I meet with a smile. I don't care if I compliment you and tell you look good today, your shoes is fire. People coming to me in the store all the time. Should I get the shirt? Do you like it? Yeah, you should grab it, my man. It don't matter what I think. But if I gotta put that battery in your back for you to buy some shoes or buy a shirt or ask a girl on a date, do it, bro.
Right.
It's the worst that can happen. They say no. Come on.
Live, basically.
Exactly.
Live. You only really got one life. I like that, man. Let's pivot on this one, right? And I'm gonna ask this question, right? And I understand I'm about to put some people on the spot right now, but this is my show. It's Hard in the Paint. So you can really get a Hard in the Paint type question right now. We're gonna start back over here with you, and then we're gonna come around the horn, right? It's 4 seconds on the clock in the VBL. Your team has the last shot. Other than you, Who in the VBL do you want taking that last shot? I don't need no explanation. I just need a name, and we're going to get a name from everybody.
It could be anybody in the VBL.
Anybody in the VBL who you want taking the last
Well,
shot with 4 seconds up, other than yourself.
I'm going to keep it simple, and he plays for harder guard. I'm going to have to go with either Dios, you know what I mean, or my boy Wes, you know, Problem Child. Them two.
Wait, Wes Problems. You talking about Wes from Watts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the real Sidney Dean.
The
Wes?
real Sidney Dean.
The real Sidney Dean.
Oh,
It don't really matter. You said my name, though.
But yeah. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so since Dios is here, we won't ask you that, but explain why you would want Wes to take that last shot with 4 seconds on the clock.
Experience. That's why I chose both of them, actually. Experience. You know what I mean? They know what to do at the last 4 seconds of the clock. And I would rather them shoot it other than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to keep it. I'd rather them shoot it than me because I'm still in the learning process.
All right.
They already got the experience hand down. They already went pro. Wes already went pro, went to China, did his little thing. You know what I mean? He's still, to this day, putting in the same work he was doing back then. So, with that being said, it's definitely them two, hard to guard gang. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. I don't know what a future mood is, but I know what hard to guard is.
Listen, I'm glad somebody started finally trash talking.
Future move versus the world. Man,
Doc,
you know what I'm saying?
it's 4 seconds on the clock, right? What player in the VBL do you want taking that last shot?
Any player in the VBL.
Any player in the VBL, present, past.
I was just about to ask that. We talking about current?
You
or
know,
played?
like.
I told you I'm gonna put them on the spot. We're gonna find out who wants.
This is a 2-part answer.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna have to say Ryan Carter, Hezzy God.
That's everybody's favorite.
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because even if he didn't make it, he's still gonna find a way to get it back and do it again.
He's gonna get the foul call for sure. He's gonna get the foul. If he's not taking the shot, he's gonna get to the rim.
That boy Hezzy tough though.
Not
He's
making
tough.
it. So
That boy Hezzy tough.
like
Yeah.
something's gonna happen. Something's gonna get overturned. He's gonna get kicked out of the game because he fouled out, and then all of a sudden he's gonna be back in the game. I have no idea. Somehow he's gonna make it happen.
And that's one thing. If nothing else, right? Me coming new into the league and meeting everybody, that's the same person I would have the ball in his hands as well, because he has no fear.
No fear. Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
That
If
boy's
it's
a
not
bucket.
him, it's Juice 100, right? One of those two would be the one I chose, but
I'ma
I
say
would have to
something
go
that's
with the
gonna blow y'all
with the
mind.
one who you just said, who
Yeah.
refuses. I'm not even gonna let a call stop me from winning. We're gonna change calls and get this in.
And
I'm gonna need all of that.
And you know, sometimes a lot of people don't understand Hezzy or Ryan, whatever you want to call him. But when my dad passed, he told me that he feels like his mom is with him, and that's why he has no fear, and that's why he feels like he can do anything, because he feels like his mom is putting the ball into the net for him.
Oh, nah,
That's
powerful. He's a cheat
That's
code.
powerful.
That's
What?
cheating.
Hey, shout out to my man Ryan, man.
Right?
He's going crazy, man. Shout out to my man Ryan.
We're gonna let's let that set for a minute, because that's deep, you know.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
you know, when you play like that, you know, you don't have no fear,
Yeah.
nothing to lose. Who do you want to have that last shot?
It can't be you, bro. So
You talking about?
It can't be you though.
it can't be you.
I'm not going to, I won't even lie to you. I'll say the same person. I'm not going to, I have the utmost respect for Ryan. The first time I met him was at Air West, and I told him to his face, like, look, I'm not trying to be here for all that highlight stuff. You feel me? And he still did some highlights. You feel me? So, you feel me? I played good defense, but he still had what he needed. You feel me? Those little Harlem Globetrotter-esque things. You feel me? But reality is, I really answer that way because I overheard one conversation he was having about shooting threes, and he told me a lot of people are shooting without the elements. You feel me? Like he was telling me that when you're shooting on the what's the side of the court that's next to the other courts?
On the side court by what is
South
cement
side?
steps?
That's the south side, the one that's
Yeah.
towards
Yeah.
the other courts.
Yeah.
Right. When you're shooting on the south side, that's when the wind is more in the element, right? It's more
Facts.
part of the game, right?
Facts.
But if you shoot on the left side of the court, you're shooting against it. If you shoot on the right, you're shooting towards it, and it's helping you shoot it to get it in. And from that moment of hearing him say that, I haven't seen him shoot on the left side of the court ever. So it's less about like, yes, I respect this game, but beyond that, as a warrior to a warrior, I respect how he respects the battlefield. You feel me?
Yes,
You're
sir.
trying to shoot an arrow at somebody and you're trying to go through the wind. You might not hit that person. You feel
Exactly.
me? But if you shoot with the wind, that might go through them. You feel me? So.
And the crazy part
brilliant.
about that is you don't even know if a person has read Sun Tzu. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You don't know if a person has is really deep into
That's when they
philosophy.
go,
That's a fact.
You don't know if they've read Socrates or if they went back and read some
I swear.
Althar and Arset, the 42 codes of Ma'at. You don't know what they bring into the
Exactly.
game, but when you finally catch it,
Yeah.
right, and you start to understand the philosophy that they have, just imagine a cat really, what you just said. As many of us grew up, and I'm aging myself, I'm 56, I was born in 65. You start learning how to play basketball outside in the elements first.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everything he said was 100% true. It just seems like he took it and said, I'm going to take it and make it into an adult form versus just how we played as kids, right? You get the opportunity, right, to speak to one person, dead or alive, for 5 minutes, right? Who do you talk to, and what's one question you're going to ask them?
Kobe Bryant.
And what's your question?
How do I get better?
Grizz?
My pop-up, bro.
And what would you ask him?
Are we good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is the family right? Or am I doing everything I'm supposed to do, bro? Like, that's what I just want to know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he looking down every chance he get, bro. And just like Ryan said, his mom is guiding him. I can feel my pop-up, like, guiding me through my decisions, bro. Like, so I just want to make sure that I'm on the right path, bro. I just want to know for sure.
One person, dead or alive, 5 minutes. What do you ask them, and who is it?
My homie Ryan. He got taken from us while giving out his graduation certificates in the hood, and he got shot in the back, and we never got to see him. And I was literally chilling with him like 2 days before in the 40-40 club, Jay-Z's club, and it really felt like we was going like up. You know, if that feeling is undeniable when you feel like, you know, you guys are traveling as a group to success. And losing him was not easy. It's still hard, and it still makes me sad. So, I mean, just to talk to him, I would just want to laugh with him one more time, maybe tell him a joke, because his laugh was important, and when it got extinguished, it was kind of more than, it still hurts. That's all I got.
I got you. What piece of wisdom would you want to pass on to us, Dr. Sharon?
I don't know, but I would want to ask my dad how he did it. Like, how he was that go-to person for every single person in our family, for his 11 brothers and sisters, for our 150 cousins. Like, how he could be that guy and be so effortlessly cool at the same time, and be so generous and loving, and such a, like, just such a champion in all ways, such a fighter, such a, like, fighting against injustices for humanity, for the good. Like, how could he be so self-sacrificing to be able to do so much good for the world, like, carry all of that on his shoulders and still be so joyful on a daily basis? Like, I want to know how, because it seems like I'm the one that everybody expects to take over that role, and stuff.
It is tough, especially when we're dealing with loved ones. And this type of question, the reason I ask it, right, is because, yes, I want people to see us as individuals, you know, and see us as full humans, right? Right. I love that, because these are the athletes that we go watch on Saturday and Sunday in Venice Beach. These are the athletes that come out and entertain us every week at Venice Beach, right? And they come out and put their heart and soul out there on the court. And so I wanted people today to meet the people behind those athletes, right? But trust me, Dr. Sharon talked about energy. So before we go, I'm about to raise the energy up with this last question, right? Well, it's really not a question, it's an observation. I liked everybody, because I think everybody was either there or saw when Juice 100 knocked down the most points.
63 points.
Wait,
63 points.
hold on. Before we go there, you ain't asked me who I wanted to take the shot.
We already know who you want to take the shot.
Who?
You.
Nah. the funniest part is my man don't even play in the VBL like that no more.
He don't play that? Okay, my bad.
But Young Mouth, my boy Nitty, man.
Oh, Liddy.
My man Nitty, from the moment I moved, I used to go to Santa Monica College, and he used to kill me. He used to come to Venice and kill, Drewly, kill. That was Meta made XVX for him. Like, no funny. Like, he was the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Ryan would have been one of them, you know what I'm saying? One of my homies would have been, but that man right there, I've seen him hit game winners and walk off while still in the air. You know what I'm saying? So 4 seconds left. I know he'll get it done. Either it's going to be a bank or he going to go to that left side and hit that step back three. It is game time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Nitty, man.
Man, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about this historic moment on the court, right, with Juice 100. Who was there? Who saw it? Who wants to talk about it?
I will say this. I will say this. I've never seen nobody shoot like that outside in my life. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, and the underrated part is he really like hit like 13, 14 threes outside.
Right.
In the wind. That's a gloomy day at the beach in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Like, going both ways. It wasn't just that one way.
Do you think
going
it's
both
possible,
ways.
Wait, let's keep it 100. Do you think it's possible that he had knowledge of the atmospheric pressure in the air when he was shooting the ball and understand it?
Oh, wow. I don't know what direction he was going with that one. But as soon as I heard the atmospheric pressure, I was like, okay, he's going crazy right now. But no, you know what it really is, to be honest? It's just what Ryan them said, man. That's what I tell everybody that's new to the beach, bro. That other side, them sides with the wind blowing, is your advantage when it's at your back or it's on your side. Like, that's the advantage if you're shooting with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the crazy part is a lot of them shots was net. Like, a lot of them didn't bounce in. It was net shots. And they're defended. If you look at the flicks, you look at the video, they're well defended by guys like Vito, my boy Elvin, like, who are athletes, like defensive players who have played pro.
Even Jumpman was sticking him.
You know what I'm saying? They played pro. They played against high-level guys. They've touched these different platforms. It's not like he's out there going against Gerald from the corner store. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's going against guys that really play. So for it to even happen, I'm sitting courtside, and I ain't going to hold you. I was emotionless. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And they kept saying, I'm like, nah, they loafing, man. They be getting no points wrong sometimes. I'm like, nah, 63, they wilding. And then I watched it again. And I realized, nah, they wasn't wilding. They was for real. So shout out to my man that plays serious everywhere because he plays serious in the celebrity game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now, as we close out, and I definitely want to say thank you to everybody that showed up, even the invitations that went out and the people that responded to that. Thank you. A lot of people had to work today, right, and couldn't make it here, and some had on-the-spot situations that couldn't make it here. So we're definitely grateful that these 4 ballers, these 4 athletes, right, these 4 people came in and was a part of what we're doing on Hard in the Paint today, which is VBL Day. And we also giving a shout out to Meta and XVX
shout out
versus
Meta, man.
X Sports. To who else?
Nah, for sure said shout out Meta.
Yeah, shout out Meta, man.
Shout out Nico. Shout out Dan. Shout out Nico's kid, Soleil. You know what I'm
you're doing all of that right now, but this is VBL Day, so you know,
that's
I'm
what
gonna let you do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Go on and talk about it. Tell them, put it out there.
Shout out Nico. Shout out Nate just had a kid. Who else just had a kid? Like Trevor just had a kid. Like shout out to everybody. I've basically seen them boys before they had facial hair. You know what I'm saying? So like shout out to everybody out there that keeps that beach going. Docs. You know what I'm saying? DJ A-Star, Mouthpiece for sure, which I told you got to change his name to Voice of Everything because he's every league. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to all them guys, like, because without them, like, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I wouldn't even be in this moment right now. You know what I'm saying? Not even the simple fact that it's, like, because it's a VBL day, but the connections. And then a legend just walked in, so, you know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, come on, man. Bring Valentino.
Yeah, come on, legend. Get on camera, man.
You ain't going to walk up in here.
We ain't know this was your father, man. Come on, get on camera, man.
This guy is a legend, man.
Yeah, man. Look at that, man. His father and him.
This is what happens when you live right now.
Hey, look, no, this is what happens when you good at basketball because you start running the guys
right here.
basketball.
Give us last few minutes up here with you, baby.
Oh, my Lord, man. It's the guy, and he got the fresh braid up. I don't know who did your hair, but I need to
So now, while he's hooking this up, full disclosure, right, the older gentleman you see back there, just getting ready to mic him up, is his father.
Blew my mind.
Valentino's father is the engineer here on Hard in the Paint. See, I was going to say that, right? But he was so proud. He came over here and said, make sure you mention my son. His name is Robert Valentino. You make sure you mention him. right? Because he played basketball, but that's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying?
Valentino.
Yeah, there he is. There he is, the living,
Nah,
the
that's the
legend
guy
himself.
right
What's
there,
up,
man.
Coach?
That's the guy right there.
How you feeling, man?
I'm doing good, man.
Okay, wait. Hold on. We got to wait on Big
Look,
Daddy to
man.
hook that volume up real quick.
My man right here. I ain't gonna hold you.
Do y'all know who this is,
I never
man?
forget when I first walked
Do
in
y'all
the
know
gym.
who
I
this
was with my
is?
homie Josh, and I ain't gonna lie, I was playing terrible that day. All I hear somebody on the side like, "Bro, you can't make a layup." I'm like, "Yo, who is that, bro?" He say, "Bro, you ain't gonna be able to come back to the gym." I'm like, "Yo, who's saying that?" Like, my man on the side, I'm thinking we over here cooking. I'm smoking legs. I'm like, "Nah, it's crazy out here, man." But ever since then, like, nah, it don't happen no more.
Listen,
now we cooking.
if you don't know that you're in the presence of a great player in any sport, as soon as he come around, people start telling stories about how
Yo,
he hit it.
for
Man,
real.
look, I'll
man
never forget
flash.
today, man. It was 120 degrees outside in the brother.
Hey, it be hot in Chatsworth, man.
Facts.
It be hot in
Especially in
Chatsworth.
that-
Okay, well look, Valentino, elite basketball. Where you coming from? We know you coming in, basically to work, but where you been at, what you been up to today, what's going on with you real quick so we can catch up before we sign off.
We good?
Yeah.
For the most part today, I just in the gym like I am every day, working with my pro players and then working with my younger kids. I got a few standout kids right now that are 12, 13 years old that are making that turn to the elite level. And then, just maintain it, staying in the positive realm, thinking positive thoughts and, moving forward.
Okay, well, see, now that you have a smile on your face, I can ask you this question about I think it was 2 weeks ago, basketball decision that was, something you expressed yourself about to the referee in a vociferous way, Vociferous, I
Look
think
at this
is the
guy
word I'm
getting his
trying to look for.
vocab back.
Right, yeah, I had to reach in for that one, vociferous. 26 years in prison, we do learn big
Man.
words. I'm just trying to make sure I
Bro,
use them right.
I'm over here trying to go in my head like, what?
Anybody got a dictionary?
Vociferous.
That was a mountain.
Look,
Goddamn.
the source is busting out. Look, Dios.
I'm over here trying to put it in
Alright,
the
yeah.
context in the sentence so I can understand.
Look, somebody Googled it and was like, okay, yeah, you used it right in the sense. Yeah, okay, go ahead. You was voicing your opinion in disagreement about a call a couple of weeks ago, right? And I'm just curious, right? And I'm full joking when I say this. When one of the kids that you coach was watching you at that moment, what would you tell him about that coaching technique that you used in the disagreement about that call?
All of my guys at my gym
For a fact.
they know that once I get heated, it's a wrap. It does not matter who you are, where you're from. I don't care if it's LeBron or Kobe or it don't matter. If I'm mad,
Would you treat the doctor that way?
she actually has worked out with me. She actually has worked out with me, and she's seen it firsthand. So. Girls, guys, it's all the same because I don't see girls and guys on the basketball court. I just see basketball players. And I also don't treat players like they're in their age group. You're a professional to me when you walk into my gym. You have to hold yourself that way, train that way, and leave that way. When you walk out, do whatever you want to do. You live your life how you want to live it. But when you're there with me, you have to present a professional aspect because that's what I am. I'm a professional and I play professional basketball. I know what it takes to be a pro. So in order for you to get there, you have to know how to operate that way.
I like that. Before we close out, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I would be remiss as a talk show host if I didn't talk about the women of the BBL, since we definitely have one of the women of the BBL here. When we first look at the VBL and we see, okay, a woman comes on the court and they got to have to be defended by a woman, or there's a special rule if there's a physical mismatch, basically, is what we're talking about. But what is the experience like overall, being on the court and being respected as a basketball player on the court first versus being a woman of the VBL?
I think it would probably vary for everyone in their own opinion. But we did have a little short conversation, Nick and I, about that, about how we can kind of like incorporate and integrate the females and the women, better into the game, because at this point it's kind of like, okay, well, we got our 5 minutes now out, and the guys take over for the rest of the time. It's a little bit difficult in that way. I think the women end up being more like an ISO kind of situation because, the points are more, and so.
Well, you have to pick the mic up when you say stuff.
Oh,
like
my
that,
bad.
yeah.
Their points are more.
Right. So it becomes kind of like an ISO situation where, you know, like if it was the guy, the help defense would come over and like kind of just jump in a little bit more. Guys kind of just like stop and watch the girls play.
Right.
So trying to like figure out how to integrate the women more into it. I don't know what Nico's gonna decide to do, but I'm sure he'll come up with something that's really cool for us.
And I like the way you phrase that too, because it's always a way for us to like, okay, if it's not working, let's see what we can do to make it better. You know, let's see what we can do to make it more equitable or equal on the court, so all players feel that there's not an advantage or a disadvantage, fair or unfair, for some person or one group of players or something like that. And it's always cool to be able to sit down and even express those ideas and feel like they're being heard, even if the idea isn't the one that's chosen, but something else is chosen to work on it. And I think I want to close out with a statement, something like that, because what we're talking about is family, you know, and the dynamics of a family.
Before you close out,
why would you want to take over my? See, this is what I'm talking. This is why I didn't want to bring him on
Nah,
the
but
show.
listen,
He just came on and just take over my show.
Listen, but I
Go
understand
ahead.
you asking us, but I want to ask you.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying? Come on, just chill out a little.
Well, it's my show. I'm asking the question. This is
know
my
you.
show, bro.
I know everybody, but everybody
of the
want to know
family,
these
right?
questions too, bro. You got the vintage ball jersey. I don't even have one of those jerseys.
That's not my fault, man.
Look at you,
I'm
bro,
Aaron
like-
Showtime Taylor.
So that's what I'm saying. So for you,
I got
for you,
these
right?
Pumas from the VBL.
You get what I'm saying, bro? You got the whole package. But this is what I'm saying.
You,
for you,
you
right?
know what? I appreciate that. Go ahead and ask me. He said the whole package.
Coming out to the VBO, bro. Even your first time coming out to there, and like seeing these players, guys like Rob, who's international player, models like him that does everything. Juice just being an athlete, Doc being who she is. We're not gonna talk about me. So what I'm saying is, when you out there, right? How does it feel for you? We already explained how it feels for us. How it's family and all. How does it feel for you, man? It's okay. Get in your bag, bro. Like,
No, I'm gonna get in my bag because you asked the question. It's fair. You know what I'm saying? I get asked that question a lot. So let me rephrase it for you. And if I rephrase it correctly, can I answer that question?
There we go.
So I think the question you're actually asking me is, dude, you just did 26 years in prison.
I can't even do 26 seconds.
And you walked out of prison and came straight to the court and started calling basketball games. You didn't know nobody out there. How did you do it? Is that the question? Is that part of the question you asking?
That could be my second part of the question. I'm saying, how does the VBO make you feel?
I'm ready to go into that. I'm going into that. I wanted to add that too.
This is why this is your show.
So to answer Bad Moon Rising, aka Purple Rain, aka Grizzly Moon's question, right?
Hey, I'm him.
So when I came home, you have to remember for 26 years he said Purple Rain.
It's the scarf, man. It's the scarf, man. It's the scarf, man.
When I came home, right, the easiest thing for me to do after doing 26 years of doing play-by-play basketball inside of prison, the easiest thing to do was to come out and do play-by-play basketball. That was not difficult to do at all. That actually made it easier to acclimate myself that day, because the same thing I did that day is the same thing I did on level 4 prison yards, level 3 prison yards, and eventually I made it to San Quentin and did it on a level 2 yard, which was on the other one, start a basketball league, get all the neighborhoods together, you know what I'm saying? Everybody from wherever clique you from, whatever city you from, whatever hood you from. Right. Y'all put a team together. Give me the money for the entry fee for the team. I'm gonna hold this big old bag of money from 12 different teams under my bunk. And at the end of the season, I'm gonna take 80% of that bag and drop it off to a championship team. That was consistent. So when I came home, it was easy to just step right on the sideline of a basketball court. What's your name? What they call you? I'm Dr. Sharin. I can't remember that name. You a doctor? Yeah, okay, cool. We're going to call you doctor from this point forward. What's your name? I didn't even hear you when you said your name all together, but I thought somebody said Purple Rain.
Nah.
I thought somebody said Purple Rain. That's why I was calling you Purple Rain all that time in
It's because I
print.
had the scarf on that day because my braids wasn't as long, so it was like the middle back of my head.
Listen,
So I had the scarf on.
So when Juice came out, like I said, I met him as soon as I hit the court. I introduced myself. I pulled my phone out and showed him a video of me in a movie called Cue Ball, and he said, yo, I remember that. Yo, you sound just like a dude that do play-by-play. That's how I met him. And I met Valentino the same way, and I met Dios the same way, all there. So it was easy for me to come out and do exactly what I'd been doing for 26 years, and no one to know that, damn, dude, you only been out of prison a month after doing 26 years? That was amazing to everybody in that moment, but that's because before I left prison physically, I'd already left prison mentally here. So I was already
that's some
functioning
game right
in
there.
there as if I was going to function out here. You know, that's why by the grace and mercy of the universe, the Most High, whatever it is, we're blessed to be sitting here today like this. You know, because like, again, the reason you guys are here is because my first job was at the VBL.
And we appreciate you.
And I spent the season there, and then I back and forth, but in the process I've been building. So why not go back and bring my family with me to show them how far I've gotten, and then say, okay, let's go. Not me go off and leave y'all, but let's go.
That's love, man.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
And you know what somebody said to me, not to cut you off.
Yes, you do.
You're
You cut
not-
me. This
listen,
is the third
listen,
time
though.
you done cut
I
me.
have to
Security,
say it. I have to
security,
say it right now
come
because
get this dude.
It's full circle. It's just confirmation from all my life. It's what my big brother said. You're not leaving them. You're leading them. You get what I'm saying? So you're not leaving us, bro. You're just leading us to better things. Like, look at where we at right now, bro. Like, look where we are, bro.
I mean, y'all inspired this, so I mean.
But no, but still, bro. Like,
You
look
made it
at this,
happen.
bro.
I'm gonna say something to harp on both things. The question about the women's side of the VBL, and also what you just said. A lot of people don't realize that where you start isn't where you have to finish.
Right.
And then also, when it comes down to the women's side of the VBL, I have an idea on my own that I could bring up, but I'm not just gonna put it out there like that.
So do I.
Ideas have, interest with them. So I'm gonna let Nick reach out to me on that when he wants to,
Sign the
and
contract.
we can talk about it. But there's definitely a way for the women's side of the VBL to have a shining point.
Yes, definitely.
And there's definitely a way for the men's side to continue shining the way it is. And just for you, because you asked me the question, but I never answered it. The reason why I responded to the ref that way, that game, was because in my mind, when I first played in the VBL, mind you, that was a while ago. The first day I ever played in it, it was a completely street ball league.
Mm-hmm.
There was no easy calls. There were no ticky-tack calls. There were no easy fouls. There were no ups and downs with the referees. There were none of that. You came out there, you played, and whoever was tougher, whoever had the game, and whoever made it happen, that's who won.
Right.
The referee was not controlling the game. The referee was not handling the game. And that's the way I feel street ball should continue to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you go watch street ball in New York, go watch street ball in Atlanta, go watch street ball even overseas. The referees don't handle the game. They make sure somebody don't get shot.
Facts. That's how it is in Berry Farm.
I love it.
So the difference.
That's reality for real, though.
The difference is street ball is supposed to be a game where if it's street, then it's street.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys on bikes jumping on the court. You got dudes on mics. You got random dudes walking on the court saying they got necks. You got all that going on. Somebody dunk on somebody. You got people storming the court, running around, doing this on top of somebody's head. But then you're gonna have these odd calls. It just doesn't add up.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So for me, as a coach, trainer, and a basketball player, not just one-sided. If I'm coaching a team and the referees are calling the game a certain way, I teach my players how to adjust to those calls.
Right.
Because I'm a coach.
As a coach, you teach your player that.
Yeah, as a coach.
I got you. Okay.
As a trainer, I teach my players in the gym how to receive calls, how to get to the calls. And then as a player, I do all three of those. I'm playing, I'm receiving the calls, I'm learning how to get the calls, and I'm adjusting to the calls as they happen in the game.
I don't know if you're paying attention to this, right? So when you go back and look at this, you literally just got some really sound advice when it comes to basketball, not just as a player, but as a business.
I'm jotting down everything he said in my head right now. Like,
That's right.
This is my young guy, right? It's my little
I'm
brother.
jotting down everything in my head right
All right,
now. Like,
all right. Look,
I got you, Flash.
we're gonna start with Dios, right? Dios, look over into this camera, right?
You're
30 seconds.
Yep.
Whatever's on your heart, hit it.
Life is about finding who you are. And once you have that weapon of who you truly believe you are, expressing that as fully and as completely as you can should be your only mission. Your passion is your key, and as the more you're inspired, the more everything will fall into place.
Grizz, over to this camera. There's one straight out in front.
This one me right here.
Okay. You got the one you want. You ain't even listening to me on that.
No, I
Y'all
heard
see
you.
this? He done took over. He's the host. I can't even direct my show now. He's the cameraman and everything.
But if y'all do want to reach out to me about a show, you know,
pick your camera, brother. It's on you.
So look, man, once you change your perspective and realize life is not a sprint, you know what I'm saying? It'll be easier.
Juice.
Man, I just want
over here into this camera. Look right into it.
I just wanted to say this, man.
No, don't look away from the camera. Look into the camera.
I just want to say this, man. A lot of people
look
didn't.
Eye to eye, brother. You're breaking eye
I'm
contact,
getting there.
brother.
I'm getting there.
You're breaking eye contact.
I just want to say this, man. RP to my homie AP, man. He just passed away not too long ago, man. And he was 18 years old. And the fact that why I say that is because he was also about to be in the VBO this year too. So I just want to give him a big shout out. It's much love. I play for bro every day. You know what I'm saying?
Which camera you want me on?
Right here. Thank you, brother. Thank you for, you see that? Thank you for respecting my show. Thank you for respecting Hard in the Paint, brother. Thank you, Valentino, for respecting Hard in the Paint. Go ahead, brother Valentino. Thank you for respecting and asking me, brother.
First of all, I would like to say you can follow me at PT_Flash on Instagram. If you need any information, if you need any type of information on basketball or just life in general, you can hit me up. I always answer my DMs. And the last thing that I would say to anybody is your perception is everything in life. If you change your perception, you will change your reality. If you live in the hood, go to Beverly Hills and hang out there. If you don't want to live in the hood no more, go hang out with people that don't live there. Find a different process to your life, and that way you can change your life without doing anything big, but taking very small steps.
Wow.
Snap.
All right, Doc.
We all should have plugged ourselves like you.
All right. I want to say that there's always going to be stuff that happens in your life. And just like, you know, all of us here have experienced difficulties and obstacles, and yet you see that we continue to rise. And we might fall down, but we get back up. And it might take us a little while, but we'll get to our destination. That has a lot to do with, like he said, the perception of life, because perception is reality. And raising our vibration, what we talked about earlier, is going to make the biggest difference in not only us, but in everybody else around us. And the things that we can overcome and do makes it possible when it may have seemed impossible to others. And we might not even know that simple things as being 42 years old and getting picked up on a FIBA certified pro team and coming back to basketball, like things like that might seem insignificant, that just inspired other 42-year-old women to get back there, out there on the court and do things like that. You know, like you might change somebody's life. It might seem like very small, but those changes keep going through generations and generations. So just keep doing what you're doing. Raise your vibration, gratitude, love, and do stuff that's going to be good for society.
Do stuff that's going to be good for society.
I love it. And this has been another edition of Hard
Took over my show, man.
Nah, but look, since Rob plugged this, I'm plugging. Hey, look, Grizzly Moons, you can hit me in the DM. I probably will respond.
But he's a celebrity, so it takes a little bit more time.
I will respond. Scratch it. Hey, look, we're going to fix that in post. I'm going to respond.
He ain't responding. He ain't lying.
All right, before we go out, let me say this. And it's about the theme that we've been speaking about today, which is energy, right? And the transference of energy, the understanding of how to read energy, the understanding of how to feel energy, the understanding on when and how to, and to use this word strategically, manipulate energy from negative into positive, to transform it. It's easy for me to sit here and look into the camera and speak to however many people are listening, right? And for you to look at me and think, man, this dude's pretty healthy. You know, he did 26 years in prison. He's come home. You know, he's doing what he's doing. He's living his dreams out. But every day, I have to get up. I have to meditate. I have to pray. And then I have to sit calmly with myself. Throughout the day, I have to take time out and find places where I can be by myself, where I go in and deal with my emotional self. Because like millions of other Americans, I deal with mental health issues as well. I deal with depression, I deal with anxiety, I deal with a lot of social anxiety from coming out of prison after 26 years in some hell of a violent places, and then to come out here and I get very nervous in crowds, I get very nervous when people move fast around me, I get very, very anxious when I'm not comfortable in public spaces. And so I deal with social anxiety, depression, and anxiety like most people. Sometimes I take medications, most times I don't. Most time I can feel it because I put myself where I'm in tune with my body and I can understand the changes that are taking place on the inside, right? I'm not always successful, so I have a very, very good support group around me that catches me. If I don't see myself falling, they let me know you're falling and we're here to help you out. So my word of wisdom to close this show out, because I have my basketball family here with me from the Venice Basketball League. I have my studio family here with me at Coin Academy. I have my family here who is not just my niece, but the CEO of my company. And I have a production here team with me who is also part of my family. You need all of these people, and you should not feel ashamed or embarrassed if you are having some type of mental health issue. Reach out, speak to people, right, before you do something. Get past the embarrassment. Call out. That may be the one call you need that can help you out. Because as Grizzly started off, he went to help somebody, he spoke to him, and that person was right on the edge. But because he reached out and was a good person, was a good human being, that man has a letter at home right now with his grandmother from the gentleman who wrote a letter thanking him because he was thinking about taking himself out. Mental health awareness. Mental health awareness. Mental health awareness. It's what we need, and don't be ashamed to talk about it, and don't be ashamed to reach out. My name is Aaron Showtime Taylor. These are members of the Venice Basketball League, and we have all today been hard in the paint.
Ooh, jazz hands?
Yeah, he was a particular man.